She saved the plane, until her call sign forced F-18s to break radio silence. The sky was calm at 30,000 feet, sunlight spilling across a sea of white clouds. Captain Dana Reeves sat in the cockpit of Flight 247, her fingers steady on the yoke. To the passengers, she was just another commercial pilot, calm, professional, and quietly confident. But to anyone who'd served with her, she was a name whispered with respect, Phantom 6. No one on board knew that part. Not the co-pilot, not the flight attendants, not the 170 civilians sleeping, reading, or scrolling through their screens. To them, Captain Reeves was just doing her job, guiding them home. They were an hour into the flight when it happened. An alarm, shrill and sharp, cut through the cockpit. The aircraft shuddered. The co-pilot, First Officer Mark Ellis, looked up, startled. "Engine 2's losing thrust," he said. "Oil pressure's dropping fast." Dana's eyes flicked to the screen, her pulse steady. "Confirmed. Shutting it down." She moved quickly, executing the engine failure checklist with practiced precision. But the plane lurched again, this time harder. "Hydraulics on the right side are failing," Mark shouted. "We're losing control of the ailerons." Dana didn't panic. She'd seen worse, much worse, back when she wasn't wearing a commercial uniform but a flight suit with the Navy's insignia on her shoulder. Her mind snapped back to training, to missions over the Pacific, to fire-filled skies and the sound of missile locks screaming in her headset. "Switch to manual reversion," she ordered. "We can keep her stable if we compensate with trim." Mark hesitated. "We'll never hold altitude." "Then we won't," she replied calmly. "We'll descend, controlled. Send out a mayday, but don't mention our location yet." She guided the crippled aircraft into a gradual descent, her hands moving with instinctive precision. The passengers barely noticed the drop, though a few felt their ears pop. Down below, in the quiet corridors of a nearby Air Force monitoring station, a controller noticed something strange on radar, a civilian airliner drifting dangerously close to a restricted corridor off the California coast. He grabbed his radio. "Unidentified civilian aircraft, this is Pacific Control. You're entering military airspace. Identify immediately." Dana responded without hesitation. "Pacific Control, this is Flight 247, declaring emergency. Dual hydraulic failure, engine 2 out. Requesting immediate descent clearance." Static filled the line for a moment. Then a crisp voice replied. "Copy that, 247. You're off course by 60 miles. Adjust heading 2. The controller's voice broke off mid-sentence. He was staring at a flashing alert on his screen. The aircraft's transponder code had changed automatically due to the emergency, triggering a proximity alert inside a classified zone. Within minutes, 2 F-18 Hornets launched from a nearby carrier group, streaking toward the civilian jet's location. Back in the air, Dana was fighting the controls, her arms aching. The aircraft shuddered like a living thing trying to tear itself apart. Mark's voice wavered. "We're at 20,000 and dropping fast. Keep your focus," she said through clenched teeth. "Reroute electrical. If we lose that bus, we lose the flaps." Mark's hands trembled as he worked. "How are you this calm?" Dana didn't answer. Her eyes were locked ahead, jaw set, memories clawing at the edges of her mind. She'd been here before, different cockpit, same chaos. A mission gone wrong, an F-35 shot to hell, her wingman screaming through the comms before static swallowed him whole. She'd saved the jet that day. But she'd lost her career, buried under classified files and silence. Now, years later, it felt like the sky was testing her again. "Mayday, Mayday," Mark radioed. "Flight 247 declaring full emergency, hydraulic and engine failure. Request immediate vector to nearest safe runway." The reply came not from civilian ATC, but from a different voice, sharp, authoritative. "Flight 247, this is Falcon 1 of the U.S. Navy. You are in restricted airspace. Maintain heading and altitude." Mark's eyes widened. "The Navy." Dana froze. That voice, she recognized the tone, the clipped military precision. She exhaled slowly. "Copy that, Falcon 1. We're trying to maintain, but we've lost hydraulic systems. We're on manual control." There was a pause on the other end. Then, "Say your call sign." Mark frowned. "Call sign. We're a civilian flight." But Dana's hands had gone still. Her chest tightened. There was only one reason a Navy pilot would ask that. "Captain Reeves." Mark whispered. "What's going on?" The radio crackled again. "Repeat. Identify your call sign." Dana hesitated. Then she pressed the transmit button. Her voice was low, steady. "This is Phantom 6. The cockpit fell silent. Mark stared at her, not understanding. Seconds later, the F-18s, who had been maintaining silent approach, broke radio silence, a violation of standing protocol. Both pilots spoke almost at once, their voices tight with disbelief. "Say again," one of them demanded. "Phantom 6. Confirm that identifier." "Confirmed," Dana said. "And we're losing altitude fast. If you're going to help, do it now." There was a stunned pause. Then the lead F-18 pilot responded, his tone completely changed. "Copy that, Phantom 6. We've got your back." Mark looked at her, speechless. "Who are you?" Dana didn't answer. She was too focused on the controls. Outside, the two Hornets flanked the damaged jet like guardian angels. Their flight paths adjusted in perfect synchronization, one on each wingtip. The Navy pilots spoke quietly to one another, words filled with awe. "She's alive," one said. "They said she didn't make it out of the Pacific mission." "Guess they were wrong," the other replied. "Phantom 6 just doesn't quit." In the cockpit, alarms blared. The left landing gear refused to deploy. Mark's voice cracked. "We're going to have to belly land." Dana took a deep breath. "Then that's what we'll do." She keyed the radio. "Falcon 1, we're heading for emergency landing at Point Magoo. Clear the runway." "Affirmative, Phantom 6. Ground is cleared. Fire and rescue en route. We'll escort you in." The jet descended in a slow, agonizing glide, one engine coughing smoke. Passengers gripped their seats as the captain's calm voice came over the intercom. "This is your captain speaking. We've experienced some technical issues, but we're going to make a safe landing. Please remain seated and trust the process." Her tone was so steady, so confident, that fear seemed to drain from the cabin. As they approached the runway, the F-18s peeled away, circling above like sentinels. Dana adjusted pitch, trimmed the nose, and brought the crippled plane down. The belly scraped asphalt, sparks showering beneath the fuselage. Metal screamed. The aircraft skidded, slowed, then stopped. Silence. Then applause erupted from the cabin behind them. Mark slumped in relief, breathing hard. You saved all of them." Dana exhaled slowly. Her hands trembled for the first time. Outside, emergency crews rushed forward. The F-18 pilots landed moments later, sprinting across the tarmac as Dana stepped out of the cockpit. The younger of the two pulled off his helmet, eyes wide. "Ma'am," he said, saluting. "Phantom 6. It's an honor." Dana smiled faintly, shaking her head. "It's Captain Reeves now." But the pilot didn't drop his salute. "Ma'am, every instructor at Top Gun still tells your story." Mark, standing beside her, finally understood. The woman who had just saved their lives wasn't just a pilot. She was a legend, one whose name had once been classified and whispered with reverence. Dana looked up at the sky, where the sun broke through the clouds once more. "Let's just call it another day at work," she said softly. And as the F-18s roared overhead in salute, every crew member on the tarmac stood silent, watching the woman who had once vanished from the Navy's records step back into the light. Phantom 6, the ghost who saved a plane, and reminded the sky who she truly was.